Edgar said to the interviewer he was convinced that the thing out there wasn't a vault at
Yeah,
all.
I know what he thought.
Dr. Edgars didn't think it was designed to keep things out.
I know what he
thought
thought.
it was designed to keep something in.
Do you even understand the difficulty trying to keep a base like Fathom at the bottom of the ocean from killing everyone in it on a daily basis?
Oh my god.
Everyone hold on to something! I think whatever is on the other side of that door out there, it's not friendly. I think it's trying to get out. That, my friend, is a dire combination.
That's a bad sign.
Get under the door!
It's spreading like some kind of technological contagion. We can either stop it here or watch the world burn.
Fathom, the first season of Derelict. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, or learn more at derelictpodcast.com.
Nocturnal is a high-action horror thriller and a love letter to classic 80s buddy cop movies. Written by #1 New York Times bestselling author Scott Sigler, Nocturnal is a complete season with 45 episodes available wherever you get your podcasts.
Over here. Aye, that'll do. Put a cloth over it, toss some flowers on it, and we'll call it a sacrificial altar or some such.
Oh, you got an eye for the finer things, Algie.
That be part of the job. Now pass us a bottle, will you?
Thirsty work to be sure. Now then, what is it we're doing exactly?
Well, I don't know. Just does what I'm told. Ancient rite, isn't it?
That'd be grand, but how do you go about with doing one of those? Was it the chanting first, or the contemplation of the spirits? Can't say I was rightly listening.
I think that's the problem. We probably contemplated one too many spirits at the Earl's Head, if you catch my meaning. And I could have been having my supper now. Think it'll work, do you?
Can't do any harm. And say what you like, she always knows her mind. It'll make a proper sight. Now, talking of dinner, what should we do first? Pasties or raising the dead?
Geoffrey?
Evenings like this. Yes. Best thing is to stay out of the way. Glass or two of cognac, game of billiards, early to bed.
Geoffrey, are you coming?
But Charlotte, all good intentions, of course, but, well, she's one of those sorts that has, well...
Do we have a blindfold?
Ideas. Darling, I really don't think this is a good idea this evening.
Oh, Tosh, stay for the party games at least. Oh, there's this one. You have to balance an egg.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Kit, you're ready.
Lord of the Manor not coming?
No, he's being a bit of a stick in the mud.
I didn't get the impression he was keen on us staying.
I'm sure that's not true.
He said it was going to rain and we should check the train times.
Well, it might.
Said it 3 or 4 times.
He's very conscientious.
Offered to have the butler pack our bags.
Oh, that's just his way of making you feel, at home? Look, you shouldn't listen to what he says about journalists.
I didn't... What did he say?
No, you're quite right. Now, where is that darling wife of yours?
Being made up with... what's her name? So, is this evening still going ahead?
Oh,
because
absolutely. It's your last night at ours. It would hardly be much of a honeymoon if I left you to your own devices.
Yes, about that...
Oh, Cynthia, darling! You always look like such a vision. married life has really taken to you. Geoffrey's being a bit of a bore about games, so Kit and I have hatched a plan.
I have?
Bit naughty, but scratch the games. Why don't we go down to the vaults tonight instead? Bit of naughtiness.
I'd love to. But didn't Geoffrey say we shouldn't?
Oh, that's only because of the death and everything. But she was very old. Besides, you've been haranguing me about all the blessed books.
I wasn't haranguing you.
Badgering, then?
Persuading. You know what I'm like with history and folklore and...
I do. And I love you anyway, darling. But mostly what you'll find down there is rising damp and a good deal of clutter. Though come to think of it, I suppose it is a bit like a museum. Anyway, come on, bit of an adventure. Dust off some cobwebs and back for dinner. I've got such a treat to show you later.
I had rather hoped we might...
Yes, me too. But she's been so good about arranging all these things. All that fun with hunting the stag in the mist.
It was a goat.
It was quite a small stag, but it was fun.
This way!
I don't think I've had hypothermia like that since I was in the trenches. I did have that telegraph to send.
Oh, Kit.
Well, look, you must see she has her own motives.
This way!
She just wants to show off the area, that's all.
To us or the reading public?
To us. Well, maybe a few others, but it's not like we had organised anything after the wedding.
I did. We've been over this.
And watch out for the steps.
Blast it. It was her who said we shouldn't spend money we don't have. I would have done something, eventually, but the Minister for Agriculture was resigning that week. Was I supposed to say, hang, let's just up sticks and... Whoop!
Oh, yes, that was the step I was talking about. Always seems to get a bit slippery.
No, it's all right. I can get up.
Actually, I was just bending down to ask for your lighter. There are no electrics fitted down here, you see.
Yes, I had rather noticed. Here.
Is this the staircase where the dowager fell?
Yes, terribly sad. Fell like a sack of potatoes. A very sensitive subject.
No, please, walk over me.
Sorry, I didn't want to spill my drink.
Right, are you ready? See, you're going to love this. Cobwebs everywhere. Close your eyes and come in. Now, open. What do you think?
Oh my gosh! It's like a treasure chest down here.
I knew you'd like it. It's a bit like the odds and ends drawer, only...
For a castle.
There was all kinds of dusty whatnots upstairs until we had a bit of a tidy. The armour was cluttering up the hallway, and can you imagine those hunting trophies overhanging the bed?
No.
Oh, yes. I have a strict no antlers in the bedroom policy.
Oh, the images.
Well, I was told you had some monastic texts down here.
Really? Yes, I suppose. Back here. I got rid of all that dusty library for the morning tea room. Light and airy is the theme.
Oh gosh, sorry.
Oh, tush, never mind. I didn't know what to do with all that chinoiserie anyway. If I wanted porcelain vase, I could get one from Stoke. Don't need to go to China. Now, here you go. See, most of these books are impenetrable. You can hardly read the English.
It's Latin.
Well, quite. What a bore. I'll see if I can find a better one.
Charlie, I think this is an early history of Dumnonia.
Sorry, lost me entirely. Is that in Tuscany?
The old kingdom of Cornwall of Devon before...
No, I do remember, of course. Geoffrey told me something about the, historical... No, quite going out of my mind. Is it valuable?
It's probably priceless.
Oh, that's jolly. I just used the bookcase to block off the draft in the wall here. Say, if it is important or something, do you think it might make an interesting story? Maybe for the newspaper, local find?
Here we go.
This is an interesting picture. Is it a tapestry?
Oh, yes, this story I do know. The Lady of the Rivers, it's called.
Bit damp for fabrics down here, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's always been down here. The vaults are part of the original castle, you see. Not everything is from the spring clean I did. Actually, it has got something to do with
Dumnonia.
Yes! I ought to remember that. Anyway, this one is a wonderful story. Local Cornish beauty, last of the line of some such, fell in love with a Saxon earl around the time of the conquest.
Oh, how romantic.
Oh, yes, dreadfully. Though it got a bit complicated. He saw the way the wind was blowing, betrothed himself to a nice French lady, and, naturally, the Cornish princess got the hump and tossed herself in the river.
That's charming.
I think that's how things were done back then, honestly. Anyway, he was so forlorn that he had this tapestry made of his lost love. Touching, really. I wonder if dinner is ready.
And his ghost wandered the moors ever since.
Sorry?
I was told this story earlier, though it was a bit different.
Hang on, if he married another, wouldn't she have been a bit chippy about him paying out for an embroidered love letter to his old flame?
Well, it's just a story.
You're the museum curator.
Assistant, I'm just...
Look, wouldn't a tapestry like this need a whole village of skilled weavers labouring in his basement? A bit awkward when the in-laws visit, what?
You always have to take the magic out of things.
Oh no, Kit's quite right. There is a simple reason for it all. Food at last.
Sorry, the reason?
He asked the pixies.
Yes, of course. Well, that does explain things. Cynthia? Cynthia, are you with us?
Yes, Who's that woman in the background? Looks familiar. Just a little more red. Thing about Kit, he can be a bit... Oh, that's a big glass. Well, you know, literal. Being a journalist, it's like he sees everyone as self-interested schemers, which is ridiculous, really, because it's not scheming when you're helping out a friend, even if it is in secret. I wish that he'd...
I'm just saying, it's a bit woolly, isn't it? It's been a lovely holiday, Charlotte, but I'm not sure that my newspaper is going to run an article on haunted breweries, magic stones, and fairies in basements.
Pixies.
What?
Pixies. Locals are very firm on that point.
Cards on the table now. Cynthia and you have a bit of a plan going on, yes? Little feature in my paper?
Kit!
Madam, a word from the Lord.
Truth be told, the whole holiday...
Honeymoon?
It's been a bit of a promotional tour for Gower. Am I right? Word in the rag, drum up support for the branch line extension, yes?
He begs to let you know that your bright idea is burning down the hillside.
Ah. You've been like this the whole trip. We're getting to see the real Devon, not just what you read in your gazettes. And so what if Charlotte thought it might make a nice story? It's not like she's making these things up.
Yes. See, you know you said you wanted to see one of those ancient festivals at the Standing Stones? Or that druid business?
Oh, yes. Belle said it was really...
Yes, that's lovely. Thing is, it's happening now, and I think we should go to the porch to have a look. Geoffrey says you can see the flames from here. Oh gosh, you really can, can't you?
Really? Oh, how exciting! And on our last night here. Kit, look! You can even see the fire from the window. What a stroke of luck.
A druid festival?
Or something like that.
I don't suppose you know what it's called, do you?
Wasn't I just saying a night ago that it would be nice to see some real lived history?
Oh, something Celtic sounding, I think. It's definitely a special day. Harvest, maybe. That fire is a bit close to the forest.
Tell you what, why don't we go and see it up close?
Sorry, what?
You know, up close. Face to face with these druid chaps.
Oh, I'm sure they wouldn't want us to.
We could drive there, couldn't we? Spot them doing all their incantations. That'd be something to write about.
The chauffeur has gone to bed. I don't think it would be fair to...
Didn't you used to drive, Charlotte?
Oh, Charlie does. You should have seen her when we...
Yes, but...
It's settled then. Let's see this authentic festival up close, shall we? Last one sacrificed is a rotten egg.
I forgot how my much I enjoyed this.
What?
I said I forgot how much I enjoyed...
There's a turn there!
What?
Oh, my lord.
I think the fire is going out. Charlie, you need to speed up.
Have you seen the drop? Oh!
This is as close as we can get, I think. Are you all right, Kit?
Just a bit of... I'll be all right.
Charlie was in the Le Mans rally.
That explains a lot.
I didn't drive it. It was a past acquaintance, but he gave me a few tips along the way. Best not to talk to Geoffrey about it.
Oh, I can't see the fire anymore. Do you think it's gone out?
That's because they saw us coming.
There's a little path up here where the wall is broken.
I told you we should have turned off the headlights.
I think we'd all be haunting this mountain if she did.
Well, if it's that or being run down by the omnibus in Hackney, I know which I prefer.
Looks like they've cleared out at the stones.
And just doused the fire by the look of it. It's still smoking.
Oh, I really wanted to see a proper ceremony firsthand. Though it does look extraordinary, doesn't it? With the moonlight and stones and...
Bunting. Looks like someone has got creative with the parish May Day decorations. Is that kerosene I smell?
Yes, does rather seem like that.
I think this is called Clanguave in Cornish. It's a real thing. Tell him about it, Charlie.
Don't look at me, darling. I wish I'd paid as much attention in class as you did.
No. This was what the maid told me about. Oh, look, Kit. Capes.
Looks like something the choir master would wear. Actually, I think it is.
Is that an altar behind you? Over there, near the largest stone.
Looks like a crate with a lamp on it. Oh, this is perfect. Turns out that our ancient druid friends enjoy a bottle or two of old brown drop. This couldn't possibly be a setup, could it?
Kit?
Isn't that the chap who last week wanted to convince us his brewery was haunted? Couldn't stop banging on about getting his bottles to Barnstable or...
Kit!
Is that a hamper you found? Oh, do tell me it's scones from Mrs. White's tea shop. I'm beginning to sense a theme here.
There's a skull.
What?
A human skull in here.
No, not in Devon. Wouldn't be allowed.
Look! Oh, my word! What am I holding?
That's the real article. Has there been a murder?
No, it's cleaned. Old. Like something we keep at the museum.
Do you hear something?
This is obviously someone's idea of hijinks. I can tell you, I'll be putting in a few strong words to...
There's a bag here at the bottom. Look. Oh, my word. A necklace. This is... incredible.
I heard that.
It looks like an Anglo-Saxon design, but gold is very rare, and I think this is emerald.
Well, that's lovely, but I think we ought to get moving.
Is there somebody here?
Do you think this has anything to do with the story you told us? About the lady in the river?
Well, there aren't actually any rivers near us. It's more of just a family...
No, but the Earl lost his head. I remember the rest of the story.
Well, I don't think he's going to leave it in a picnic basket. Not done, darling. Besides, Geoffrey was quite keen on us... well, not leaving the grounds at all, actually.
What's that?
Fire!
Come on this way, quick!
What on earth?
Just get in the car.
I think I...
My God, the whole mountain is going to go up.
Kid, I can see somebody. I think it's a...
Quiet! I can't control the...
What's wrong?
The car. It's not...
Why is the fire following us?
The fuel gauge is going down. The car must be leaking petrol.
Stop the blasted vehicle!
I don't think I can. The brakes aren't responding. Someone has tampered with it.
Then slow down. We're on a mountain.
Tours. We call them tours here. And I can't slow down because the engine isn't working.
The fire is getting closer.
All right, everybody. Best remain calm.
What?
Remain calm. I'm going to do something. Hold on to something firm.
What?
Charlotte! Oh! Charlotte! Charlotte, wake up!
Oh, that hurt.
Where's Cynthia? She's not here.
What? She's gone to get the drinks, I think.
Kit, I'm over here. Get away from the car. It's going to...
Charlotte, come on!
Oh, my word! I just had that fitted with new upholstery.
Are you all right? Oh my God, for a moment I thought you were gone.
I fell out of the car.
You're all right, though. You look ashen.
Yes. I think I've twisted my foot. But Kit, the horseman.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, forget about that nonsense.
Is your head all right? You've got him...
Yes, cuts and bruises, but the horseman, the Earl.
It's just a load of made-up...
Then who's that coming down the hill?
That's probably just a rider. Out for a nighttime...
Gallop? He's galloping. Good posture.
I don't want to be alarmist, but I actually can't see a face behind that hood. And he does seem to be carrying something. Actually, the skull. That's the skull, isn't it?
Well, I think it's just...
Maybe a brisk walk home. Now.
I can't stand.
How do you feel about piggybacks rides?
You can't carry her all the way. Oh, me. Yes. Do you think he's gone?
I can't see.
Say what you like about the war. At least you could get a cup of tea when you needed it.
I really don't think we need to hide in a ditch. There's a perfectly obvious explanation, if only...
Maybe you should get up and have a check.
Perhaps a touch longer.
It's maddening. We've been through every blessed bog and dell being chased by this lunatic.
But isn't it thrilling? Like being in a sort of story, or...
You try running downhill with someone on your back.
Actually, there was that time at school. Do you remember?
Oh, yes. When we jumped the wall over at the Wollerton estate.
I swear, you two will be the death of me.
Did you hear?
I'm sure this is nonsense, but just in case. If we cut across that field, we can get to Inkleton. There's the Earl's Head nearby. It's a pub, darlings.
Right, that's settled. Go on, saddle up then. And Cynthia, please stop whipping me when you want to go faster. It's just a field, is that right?
Yes, a bit more forest. There is a small stream, marshy ground, quite a lot of brambles, actually. Oh, and barbed wire.
Barbed? There better be a stiff drink at the end of it.
Well, I hardly see how this could be my fault. There was a very clear plan. I mean, we hadn't discussed it in detail. But this is the parish council. You'd have thought that summoning pagan deities would be a bit outre for your average church sexton.
Oh, Lady Gower, what brings you here? Oh, and your London friends. Mrs. Cynthia, isn't it? And Kevin.
Kit.
Sorry?
Willy, we've had a bit of a trying evening.
There was a horseman and an explosion and a skull.
Yes, bit much, all said. Do you mind if we just sit down? Is Arabella around?
Changing the barrels. Left the new boy at the bar. I'll get you the drinks. Sit down. Now, I hope it's not impolite, but you look a little, is singed the right word?
I'm sorry, but what on earth is this about? Cynthia mentions this Cavan cow, I don't know, but suddenly the holiday...
Honeymoon?
...is extended. We turn up, it looks like a dashed village fete, and suddenly we're being hunted.
Hunted? Really? I don't think... Well, that's not really on. I ought to say something to, Though thinking about it, it's probably a misunderstanding. One of those miscommunications that happens now and then.
Now and then?
Yeah, though it would make a good article, can't argue that. Add a bit of danger. I'm sure your London readers will
There isn't going to be an article. Is everyone in on this? I saw a crate of your beers up there from the brewery. Is this some ludicrous plan to promote Gower by driving us nearly to our deaths?
Keith.
Kit.
Well, it's all part of the ancient fabric of her folklore in Gower's ancient, did you say druids?
It's all right, Willy. Yes, it's true. Cynthia was so keen on seeing some history in action, and I might have said something to the parish, or they said something to me, about a little reenactment of... what is it?
Kalangwa.
Quite. But what was the skulls about, Willy? A bit ghoulish.
Oh, nothing to do with us, I'm sure. Just a night out with the boys, a bit of fun, a few jars. But hunted? I can't see who would have done that.
There was a man on a horse and...
That! That'll be Algie, old Trevelyan. When we saw your headlights coming, we came back here. Algie remembered that we'd left the lamp on, and he was worried about the fire risk. He's very conscientious of health and safety. I think it comes from being a gravedigger. I see, Arabella. Let me get you the drinks.
This is completely barking.
Well, he was probably looking for us. When he saw the car crash, he would have wanted to be sure we were safe.
Bit enthusiastic, wasn't he? Do gravediggers get commission or something?
He is rather fond of the old communion wine, I always thought.
But that doesn't make sense. Why would he cover his head? And you remember the howling?
But the car. Someone had cut the fuel lines. As a sign of local hospitality, it's a bit daft.
I don't know. The chauffeur might have been fixing it. Like, do you remember that time with Alfonso at the race course?
Oh, then that was unfortunate. Did he ever talk to you again?
It was only a little cigarette, and how was I supposed to know it was a fuel tank?
Give me strength.
Here we are. Right then, your cognac, a tonic for the lady, and a shandy top for the gentleman.
A what?
Well, I just assume since you come from the city.
It's fine.
Oh, this is quite...
Oh, that's one of the landlady's special recuperatives. Puts lead in your pencil. Hair on your, oh, no.
Try some, kid. Just what I needed.
It's not one of those herbal tonics that... No, that's a lively one.
She saw you hobbling in, she did. Always knows what people need. Now, how's about I drive you back to the manor in the Bentley?
That would be most kind. Between you and I would rather get in before Geoffrey hears about the whole farrago.
Oh, least I can do. Drive whilst you can still stand. That's what my wife always says. Besides, mister, we can discuss all the things you can write about when you get back. Great opportunity, this railway line.
Smashing. Cynthia, really, are you all right?
Oh, yes. Oh, just the evening catching up with me. You know, I could have sworn I saw... No, it doesn't matter.
Of course, if we can get a station here, it'd be a proper boon to the area. All that nonsense about townies preferring the coast and sand. You've seen what we got here.
Quite.
Not that I want you to think that I'm going on about it, but I do think the outsiders are missing out. How you doing back there, Mrs. Parker? No lasting damage, I hope. You know we have an excellent infirmary here, though I'm not sure that would interest tourists so much.
No.
This was the road through the woods. She walked.
Are you all right?
It wasn't what they said.
I think you need some water. Maybe...
No, it's all right. Just a bit dozy. Willy, you were telling me the story of the Lady of the Waters at the brewery. What happened to the Earl?
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a tall old tale. But way I heard it, there was a plan that gone wrong. He never left his Cornish bride, but pretended to marry another till they could escape to Ireland. But he pretended too well and was beheaded when it was discovered he'd hoodwinked them proper. Moral of the story...
Don't lose track of what really matters.
Oh, I suppose. I was going to say, always pay the piskies. Shortchanged them he did over some tapestry. Very financially savvy piskies. That's why I leave a couple of bottles aside at the brewery.
This is why I don't leave London.
But she didn't throw herself in the water. She was meeting him there. I remember.
Darling, there isn't any river near us. You look a bit peaky?
Feeling dizzy. Can you hear that?
See, I think you might be burning a fever. Yes, I can feel it.
He's coming. The horseman.
What?
Can't you hear? The hoofs?
There is nobody there.
Almost at Gower Hall now.
No! Something's coming! Look out! A woman!
What, the blazes?
I think I saw someone dart across the road. Kit?
I don't know what I saw.
Right. Well, I suppose we could all do with a nightcap.
All right, now I'm hearing things.
That definitely sounds like ooze.
A lot of them. And fire ahead.
It's the horseman!
It's a dashed hunting party.
It's Geoffrey.
Charlotte, is that you? A word, please.
I can't believe you raised the whole household.
Well, what was I supposed to do? I'd been told you were missing.
But were jodhpurs really necessary?
Didn't I say that we should avoid anything too strenuous this evening? The weather
Please
is hard.
close the door.
Taking out
no,
the
this
husband in
is
the middle of
really
the night
too
without
good.
peace.
Well, it's their last evening. I wanted it to be memorable. Good, memorable. And I can drive perfectly well myself.
Well, the balance of evidence doesn't really seem to suggest so.
Oh, did you hear that?
Kit, I have a headache.
I had that Algernon Trevelyan knock on the door, sit himself down, help himself to a glass of, a bottle of port, and then mull over in great detail how my wife had blown up an ancient monument, driven the car off the road, and was now nowhere to be seen.
Trevelyan spent nearly an hour chasing us.
Well, that was industrious of the man. He was over here working his way
taking
to our
notes.
drink cabinet.
Well, you wanted me to write a story, and this one is cracking.
All because you wanted to put on a performance for some minor scriber from a penny dreadful.
Did you hear that? It's more than a penny.
Right. I am closing this door.
I did this because I didn't want my best friend slumming in some hackney garret just because he'd got called up and she thought she ought to make him some promise so he'd come back.
I told you. I'm going for a bath.
So, is that how you feel?
No, of course not.
You like being here more than you like it at home.
I like spending time with my friend. And of course I'm a little bit jealous.
And she's played on your jealousy to turn this whole holiday
Honeymoon. It's a honeymoon.
into a promotion tour for me to write about, so she can get her blessed train line.
Mrs. Parker, your water's ready.
Actually, it was my idea. Charlie has been on at me to come over, and she's bored senseless here. I thought we could turn it into a bit of an adventure. Something fun like we used to have, and, well, something you could write about.
Oh, so that I could be useful?
No, so that you could think about something other than agricultural subsidies.
Which do actually matter.
To pig farmers?
To us, if we want to make a life together when we haven't got any money.
I've got money.
Your father's money. And we can't all float around museums dusting off pottery. One of us needs to work if we want to keep up with the lady of the manor.
I worked really hard for that position, and if I wanted a castle, I would have married... I didn't mean it like that.
No, I understand. I'm just going to go back to my minor scribblings.
Oh, for God's... Fine.
Real life isn't some dashed fairy tale.
What on earth?
Sorry, I know this is unorthodox.
Yes?
Well, it's about Cynthia. She's missing.
Missing?
I can't find her anywhere.
Forgive me, I'm a little confused, owing to the hour, but am I given to understand you've misplaced your wife?
Well, we've had an argument.
She didn't like your clothes?
No. I've searched everywhere in the castle. She was quite distraught when she left, and it was... Well, it was hours ago, in fact.
And you thought I could help? How exactly?
Well, actually, I was looking for Charlotte. I don't know if she'd gone to her.
Lady Gower retired to her own chambers tonight. Headache or something. She's probably asleep.
Actually, I'm quite awake.
Oh, looks like Mrs. Parker has taken a leave of absence from Mr...
No, that's not... She was just taking a bath when I talked to her. I tried to find the lady's maid.
Sorry, what?
I've just got this awful feeling that maybe...
We don't have a lady's maid.
You do. What's her name? Bella, isn't it? Cynthia talks to her all the time.
What?
I don't know what's got his goat this evening, but I can assure you we don't have a lady's maid. I don't know how anyone is supposed to run a house like this with only 4 staff, but...
Then who has been getting her dressed and... You know, I've never actually seen her.
Bella. She did mention a Bella. I just ignored her, like you do. But come to think of it, Cynthia had most of the ideas. Geoffrey, why on earth are you holding a pistol?
It's just the one I keep under the bed.
You do what? Why are you loading it?
Mr. Parker, that ceremony you attended, was there any item brought back to the castle?
No. Why does that matter?
The necklace. She was wearing the necklace.
But the whole thing was a fake. It was a setup. We know this.
Charlotte, dear, I mightn't have been entirely frank with you about how the dowager died.
What?
We have to find your friend before the sun rises.
I've searched the grounds, but it's so foggy.
There's no sign of her in the house or the stables. Geoffrey, are you going to tell us...
Well, she can't be in the vaults. They're locked.
Ah.
And strictly forbidden.
Well, you know we were going to do party games this evening.
Dear mercy. This way. Come on.
Well, I don't see why I shouldn't go there in my own house. Cynthia was very keen to... Oh, it was the maid. The maid told her. Geoffrey, will you stop a moment? What is going on?
It's the Dark Lady. She always appears before, well, something bad happens.
Your mother's fall?
Yes. She didn't exactly fall. She rather, well, drowned.
On the staircase?
There's a lot of nonsense said about Gower being cursed.
I really feel this is a conversation we should have had earlier, like prior to I do.
I know, but she'd become obsessed after my father's death that there was some kind of pattern, that if a dark lady is seen of the night of Galan Guave, then someone will be lost before sunrise.
But we extended our stay to... It would have been nice to have had some warning.
I did say that the weather was inclement. I don't think I could have been any clearer than that.
I think we have differing views on communication. Geoffrey, I wish you would stop shaking your hand when you have a pistol in it.
We argued. I made her think I didn't care for her work. I do. It's just that she gets so passionate about it. She doesn't live in the real world.
Oh, come on. We will all be laughing about this with our eggs and kippers in the morning. Just because there is some daft alehouse tattle about pixies and bogies or whatever, no one is going to be sacrificed.
Sacrificed?
That's unfortunate. Unlocked. I think we should prepare ourselves for whatever lies beyond this door.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Geoffrey, it's all just full of cobwebs
It's already lit. Torches. Candles. It is
We've already agreed we're not going to use the S word.
Is this your idea of a joke, Charlotte? Is this another one of your schemes? Something to drum up local interest? She's my wife. We've only just got married. This was our...
No. I'm sure there is a good reason for all of this.
I didn't think we had an altar. Oh, look, there's the skull.
You're not helping. Geoffrey, you're a man. Say something to him. He's clearly distraught. Not with the gun. Give me the gun.
I can't see her anywhere.
These things happen, old boy. I suppose we have to bear it up.
I never actually saw her. I'd just hear them in the other room, talking about what she wanted to do, and she'd come out looking like a princess. Like the princess. Why didn't I realise?
I suppose that's quite a slip-up for a journalist. Though I'm sure anyone could.
It's the tapestry. Look, the princess. She has the necklace on. And behind her, on the other side of the river, is a woman.
Oh, yeah. Hadn't noticed that. Looks like someone I met in a bar, come to think of it.
She recognised her. Wait, what's behind this?
Oh, dear. I think the poor man has finally snapped. I don't think spending all that time inking his fingers is healthy.
No. I have a strange feeling I've seen her before, too. And the woman who jumped in front of the car.
Bring a candle closer. Remember you said there was a draft in the wall? Look, I can see a gap in the wainscot behind. It's a door.
That kind of thing only happens in... Oh!
It opens.
Blast it. That's how she gets in the house.
I hear water. Kit, wait! Hold back! Geoffrey, don't you think this is a bit too planned? You should stop him.
Well, you can't blame the man. He's pretty much driven his wife to her death.
Geoffrey, at the end of this, we're going to have a long conversation. Come on.
There must be some way across. Look, can you see over there?
Ugh, that passage could have done with a good dusting. Oh my God.
I don't believe it.
The river? Well, that certainly explains the damp.
We have to get to the other side.
Are you out of your skull?
There is a pillow with the necklace on it on the other side.
That's all very well.
Don't you see? She was wearing it.
Look, Charlotte has a bit of a theory, and I'm inclined to agree.
It all makes sense. The princess drowned herself in the water here. She's here, isn't she? In the river.
Steady on, we don't know.
Kit?
Did you hear that?
I'm not sure. Kit, what are you doing?
Cynthia! I'm coming for you! Cynthia! Cynthia!
Kit!
I'll find you!
Oh, blast it.
You're not going in.
She's my friend too.
Charlie?
I can hear her.
No, look, he's gone. She's gone. Don't you see what happens when you meddle in forces that are not meant to be?
Willy!
What?
There you are. Bit dank down here.
See?
Ugh, cobwebs everywhere. I looked all over the manor for you. I've had the most extraordinary adventure.
You're not... You didn't throw yourself in the river?
Why would I do that?
She has a point.
Well, it's the most peculiar thing. I was going for a bath, and I had this headache. I don't think that drink at the pub really agreed with me. Anyway, I found myself drifting off and having this most incredible dream. Gosh, I like the candle display you've made down here. Very atmospheric.
Cynthia.
Anyway, I imagined I was the princess, and I told the Earl that I would meet him down here, this very place. She never drowned herself at all.
I might just go and...
I haven't got to the strangest part yet. I woke up and found myself in my nightgown floating in the pond at the end of the garden, like held aloft by the lilies. Can you believe it? Rather wonderful, actually, like Ophelia in a pre-Raphaelite picture. But actually, quite nippy and full of weeds.
Oh, Lord. How are we going to explain this?
Anyway, then I came back into the house and... What are you doing down here, in fact? Took me ages to find you.
Cynthia, I really do need to tell you something. There's been a bit of a, mix-up. Oh, Geoffrey, maybe it's best you take back the gun.
Gun? Why have you got a... Have you seen Kit? Oh, had a bit of a tiff. We both got carried away and...
Yes, no easy way to say this. He's probably on his way to the Bristol Channel.
It's been a bit of a long evening. Maybe a sit-down is in order. Geoffrey, can you get her a cup of sweet tea and perhaps a brandy? Or 2. Definitely 2. And then perhaps you might want to put a word in with the constabulary this time. Now, I know it sounds bad, darling. A kid. Would you say he's a good swimmer?
She did what?
Took off in the middle of the night on an horse. The Lady Gower in hot pursuit.
Never.
Well, it says so here. Torture laughed and uttering his name into the inky black of the Eden Valley.
I loves a good romance.
Well, it's a to-do to be certain, but they must have found him. He wrote the article.
Nothing gets past you now, does it, Algie?
Was washed up like a piece of driftwood on Elfricombe Beach. Raving like a madman about ghosts and crying out for his lost love.
That warms the cockles of your heart. Nice to see a couple coming together.
Aye, well, he was tetchy as a Torpoint chicken when he was here. You didn't meet him, did you?
I had that to do with the barrels.
Well, that Mrs. Parker were all right. Bit green, if you know what I mean. You were right about her liking that folklore nonsense, though. Lapped it up.
They've got some common interests now. Besides, I'm sure all those months in the sanatorium gave him a new perspective on life.
Oh, yes, here we are. A reminder that beyond the gossamer weaves of society, there lies another order. Older and more thick-headed than our imagination will allow. Would you listen to it?
That'll be 1 shilling and 6pence, Algie. I've raised the prices.
You're doing well out of this, Arabella. Our place is packed with grockles now. Man can't enjoy a drink by himself.
Didn't I say tourists love a bit of local yarn? Besides, it's you two who started it with that ceremony.
Don't know what got into me. Must have been the drink.
Well, it's been capital for business, whatever you say, Algie. Still, I got this nagging feeling that for all his wordy nonsense, the man was onto something. The way that they'd been guided to this very spot, like there were some kind of method to madness.
It's humbug, and that's an end to it. Man was away with the fairies.
Piskies, Algie.
Suppose we'll never know. That a new necklace, Arabella?
Oh, this thing. I only wear it for special occasions, the odd celebration. You knows me, Willy. I like to keep in the background.
Do you dig science fiction? Then get ready for the hardest-hitting sci-fi you've ever heard. The Galactic Football League series by #1 New York Times bestselling author Scott Sigler is now a free, unabridged podcast. It's Star Wars meets Peaky Blinders meets Ted Lasso. The GFL is a star-spanning, high-action, high-stakes, coming-of-age story set against the backdrop of a professional football league 700 years in the future. Follow the journey of Quentin Barnes, a gifted athlete who must travel from his backwater system to the galaxy's sprawling empires in his quest to be the best there's ever been. But he needs to watch his back as organized crime runs every franchise, fixing games and assassinating rival players. That's the Galactic Football League series. Search for Scott Sigler, Sigler, wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Redolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Redolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.